Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. Hallelujah. But no, Starlight loves being out in nature. So anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you out there. I hope you were able to get some time with your family, and get along, love each other and really honor each other while you have the people around in your life. And anyway, besides that, if you are new to my YouTube channel, you can give this video a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can also share my videos with your family, your friends. Let me see, birds and more birds. Lots of birds out here. Yeah, you could share my videos with lots of birds. And also, don't forget, you could check out my playlist, and you could follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I had 3 different things that I wanted to talk about today, and I had to, Starlight, you can't talk about all 3, so we're just going to talk about one. And what am I going to talk about today? Today I'm going to talk about question everything. So let me get this, the light is a little bit different here. Is question everything, yes. From the time that you were born, the things that your parents told you, the things that the school told you, the things that the government told you, the things that your friends told you, the things that the churches told you. Question everything. Even your mentor. It's kind of funny. Teachers question me too, put me to the challenge, because I am not always right. And there's levels to this shit. There's levels, like a long time ago, you might have believed in this or believed in that. And then as you grow and mature, you're like, you know what? I used to believe in that, but now, like I don't believe in Santa Claus. But many people today, this is a pagan holiday right here. This is for those of you that celebrate this holiday here, Christmas. That's, those were lies, so how many lies are we living, in society, and there is a YouTuber out there that made a video, should we really lie to our children about Santa Claus? And it's kind of funny. I read a couple comments on there, and somebody actually added a comment and said, yes, it's okay to lie to your kids. Okay, I wonder, with that person, do they have kids? And is that a good way to start off with your kids, is by lying to them? So anyway, I'm not here to talk about that, but that is one of the examples of really question everything. And so hang on. So I am sorry, I had to readjust my camera because it just, the sun was blinding me. I couldn't really see my screen on my phone. So anyway, like I was saying, is to question everything. The things that you were taught in school, whether through kindergarten to, I don't know, all schools are different, like the 7th to 8th grade, and then, through high school, if you went to college. Hang on, sorry, my water is on the other side of this because I had to move everything around. So question everything. Question what your teachers told you. You can, what the church, and this is so important, and this is where a lot of us, not all of us, because Starlight went through this and I had to learn the hard way, is, when we get brought into this world, it's kind of like, okay, we go to school and they teach you the history, and then some of the teachers are like, yeah, that was a lie, and this was a lie, and that is a lie, but and then they always change the history books all the time, because parents are getting upset and angry with this system for the public school, and saying, hey, why are you, why is this, my kid's coming home with these history books, and some of those parents are grabbing those history books to see what is the school system teaching their children. And these parents could have lots of money. More than likely it would be parents that have lots of money that came from, a family that had education, some kind of family that questions things, and they just don't, just absorb everything like a sponge, like Starlight did. And that's exactly what happened to Starlight. Is I was like a sponge. I absorbed everything I was told and thought, oh, okay, that is how everything is, is because that is what the school taught me, so, and that's where Starlight loved learning about history when she was in school. But once I realized that, there's a lot of lies, then I really didn't want nothing to do with it, because it's like, why would I want to learn a bunch of lies and then to be tested, and if I had the right answer to the history question, it would still be wrong, because that's how the books were made, so I'm going to get failed on history or your children are going to get flunk in history because they got the truth and they write it down on those test forms, but then because the books at the school system says a different story, which is a lie, but then your kids are going to get bad grades because they put the truth down there, but they are not going to accept it. So, and that is how they brainwashed all of us. No matter what, all of us have been brainwashed at different levels, some more than others, like with me, I never walked my foot in the high school, meaning I never went to high school. What is high school? So I am actually blessed in that way, because I wasn't as deeply as programmed as most people that went through regular school and then went to high school and possibly even went to college. Yeah, I see a squirrel. So, and then some of us, not all of us, you might have went to church. And what were they teaching Starlight? Lies. I was being taught a lie before I even went to the building, to church, when I was older. Not when I was younger. I was only a kid. I went for a little bit of time when I was a kid. But when I got older, is I was lied to by a pastor, and I didn't know it because I went to a funeral. And one of my close friends a long time ago, I had a wife and had a couple of kids, and he passed away. I went to a funeral and went to the cemetery, where the funeral was at. And I was being taught that, my Starlight, you got to repent or you're going to burn in the lake of fire forever, for eternity, and there's going to be gnashing of teeth. And I'm like, whoo, that don't sound like anything I want to experience. And I always thought I was a good person. So at that point in my life, it's like, what they said is like, how good how good does it take to actually get to heaven? So I thought I always was good, because I really never did anything wrong to other people. I was my worst enemy, really. I was always trying to hurt myself, but to hurt other people, I still, and I don't hurt myself now anymore. I gave that up, but I still don't go out and purposely hurt anybody. Now, I might definitely accidentally hurt people without even trying. I have a gift for that. But to purposely to say, hey, I'm gonna purposely go and do something to you because you did something to me, and now I'm gonna pay you back, and I'm just gonna hurt you, because that's the way a lot of people are in this world, is that when they get hurt by others, hurt people, that is so true, but we don't have to hurt people, even if people hurt you. So it is a choice, and we are always being tested, like you hurt my feelings, now I'm gonna purposely do something to you so then you could feel the pain that you gave me. So I do have a great friend out there, and there's times that I'm being challenged, and then there's times I have stuff that I'm dealing with, and I might by accident hurt that person without even trying. I don't even have to try sometimes, Whether that person admits that they get hurt or not, I know that times I hurt their feelings without trying. So, and that is okay when we accidentally do things like that and we don't mean to do that, and then, my belief is that really, if you even think that you hurt somebody, you really should if you got a heart, let them know, what, I shouldn't have did that, or maybe I should have done that, instead of what I did. And, I had a lot of stuff going on that day, and I don't even know why I said what I said. And I goofed up, and, I've done this many times. Can you forgive me? Because you're a great friend, So, and that to me is the wise thing to do, because, just kind of put yourself in other people's shoes. I mean, if somebody did some dirt to you, do you expect them to say sorry to you? Or do you think, they did dirt to me, what are you, so easily to forgive them? Right? Yeah, right? So we do need to forgive people and ourselves when when people hurt our feelings. Realize that, they're just as human as you are, and, that they're not perfect and you're not perfect. And, is that's a big, huge problem in the world, is that people are angry with people and they want a revenge. And like I was saying with the churches, is you really got to question what they teach you, and it is kind of funny. Some of those churches don't like to be challenged like that. You're like, oh, you say this, and now I'm going to ask you, well, prove it, prove what you're saying, and that is where, like I was deceived on thinking that I was going to burn in the lake of fire for eternity, because I had sin in my life. And then I really found out later on, really, hell and heaven is a state of mind. It's not really a literal place. Even though if we play with dark forces out there, there definitely could be things that you can experience in a deep level of spirituality, like I've experienced in my past. If you're playing with some nasty stuff, if you're playing with some scary stuff out there, like witchcraft, or, doing some things that is not pleasing to God. And I'm going to mention some things, we're going to, if the Bible says not to do certain things, we are going to have to, if it says not to lie, well, then we're going to have to deal with the circumstances that come along with lying. Like if I am a liar, and I do know somebody that watches my YouTube channel, and that's what they do, they lie. And I love this person, but they lie to people. They say, you're my friend, and then they lie to them face to face. They call the cops up on these people. And then they lie and they make up stories, and then the cops come. And this person just lets these people get into trouble. They had to go to court over stuff. I met this person in real time in Colorado. They're lying to people that have been there for you, and then they rat these people out, and then they ended up going to court, and they had to go through a lot of stuff. Now they don't want to be your friend because they don't trust you anymore, and I've had people warn me about the same person, like, hey, don't be around this person. They'll call the cops up on you. And I wanted to learn on my own. Okay, I'm going to learn on my own. Are they really going to do that to Starlight? Well, I wasn't around the person anyway. They kind of disappeared, and before I know it, I ended up having people that knew the same person, and they came up to me one day at the same park and said, Starlight, have you seen this lady? And I said, no, I haven't seen her since this time. And they go, hey, this is what she did. She ratted us out. She called the cops. The cops came, and, we ended up getting fined. We ended up having to go to court. And now I don't want to be around this girl anymore because, I got in a lot of trouble over her. So we got to really be careful of the kind of people that we say are friends, and would you want to have somebody, like, to say that they're your friends and then they lie and they make up stuff about you? So, if you are that person that I'm talking to, you really, the right thing to do is to go to that person or people and say, I am sorry that I did that. because you're not going to have any friends at all if you're going around lying and making up stories for whatever reason. So, and that's why you got to really question, when you're even talking to people that you love and care for, when they tell you stuff, like if you're even in a relationship, and if you think a guy or a girl is messing around on you, you know what Starlight does in that situation. There's somebody I am in a higher love with, but that part of the thing of being faithfulness doesn't even, I trust the person. I definitely 100% trust the person because the person's wise. But if you were in a relationship with somebody and you kind of think, like, hey, are they being unfaithful? Are they lying about something? You know what Starlight does? I'm an investigator. I will study your ass. I will investigate. I will hold all that information, and like, okay, I got all this information. And after a while, when they get in the hole a little bit further, that's when Starlight's like, okay, now I got enough, just like a police officer, they got to gather enough evidence for their case, and then it's like, oh, okay. And then you can always be sly and ask them different questions, like, and the best way to get answers from people that I've learned, and I learned this from my brother that's no longer here, is you can talk about any topic and out of the blue just ask whatever you want, because you want to get a reaction. And that is where I've caught many people lying to me, is because I caught them off guard. I didn't prepare them for the conversation. And then, the response, they couldn't think quick enough, to get out of that situation that they put themselves into. So you got to ask questions. I even challenge my mentor. Would you believe that? I question my mentor. There's times I watched his videos and I'm like, and it's good though. It's really good because it means that, he taught me good. He even told me, if, question even what I say, challenge me, so, and this is what I'm saying to you is, if you don't agree with something that I even put on my YouTube channel, hey, I am being as honest as I can be. Maybe I'm not to that level yet to understand that. Just like when you were younger, you believed in Santa Claus. I hope at 30 years old, you still don't believe in Santa Claus. So that is all that would happen to Starlight, is that it could be things that I learned that I believe in my heart is right now. Tomorrow could be a totally different day. Tomorrow I could learn something and think, wow, I thought I had the right answer. But, and then you find out, really, we don't know shit. I talked to a guy last night in an area. He saw my license plate, and then he saw my sticker on my car, and then he talked to me, and I realized, wow, you're not my kind of company. I'm not going to keep company with you. I realized I can't help you out. He was asking me questions. He's one of those people that, guess what? He knows it all. No matter what I said, I don't ever really find people like this, but they are out there. No matter what I said, he was asking a question, I gave him an answer. Then he said this, and then I said that. And we were going back and forth, and I'm in my car, and I'm trying to actually get out into the traffic so I can go and heat up my dinner. And so everything that I said, he already knew everything. He was quick at giving me comebacks. Oh yeah, he knew this and he knew that. I never met anybody like that they knew and understood everything I talk about. There's times that I met many people on my journey that knew some things that I talked about but didn't know other things. And there's times definitely that Starlight has talked to many people where, we connected on certain levels with conversations, and then there's times that I don't get what you're saying. I don't understand. I do want to learn what you're talking about. So, so with a man like yesterday, I can't help him out because he already knows it all. How can I help him out? Here he's got a question. I'm like, you know it all. How come you don't know that question? So I don't have time to waste my time with people like that. And what was interesting is where the whole conversation I had with him, here I'm thinking I don't trust you, but here he's telling me to watch out for everybody else. So be careful of that, is when there's people out there, and I've ran through this before, is people will tell you, hey, they're more or less likely saying that you could trust me, but don't trust those people. You got to decide on your own who you trust. I can make videos, make all sorts of videos. You still have to question whether Starlight is right, about what she said. Is Santa Claus real? You got to figure that out. And I talked to somebody the other day. She's like, oh my, I can't, well, not the other day, about a week ago. She's like, oh my, I can't believe that there's adults that really believe in Christmas. Now, I've never met really an adult that really, that believed in Santa Claus. Sorry about that. So I never met an adult. Now, maybe like people that are disabled that have been taught that way, and that, that they have a different mindset. Yeah. Because they've been lied to, and so they also believe that everything they're being taught is true. Yeah, I definitely could believe people that have mental illnesses or disabled, or have a learning disability that could be believing that there's a real Santa Claus. So you got to question everything. If you're going to church, the pastor says, you're going to burn in a fire forever, for eternity, of gnashing and gashing of teeth. Because there's people, I've traveled all over, and I see billboards still today. That's how I ended up, becoming a Christian, is because I was lied to. There is not a literal hell. Now, heaven is here on earth. That is something you got to really figure out on your own. Is heaven here on earth? And then, what I believed before I believed that, is I believe this was hell on earth. So some people believe this is hell on earth because they had a life like Starlight. My life was like hell, and I got people that know me and heard lots of my stories by accident, and like, wow, her life was like hell. There's a lot of people out in the world that they lived, a very bad, wicked life, and not that they actually caused a lot of that to them. It could have been that people did wicked stuff to them in their childhood, that started everything in the wrong foot. So you got to question, what does your parents believe in? You don't have to believe everything your mom and dad told you when you were a kid. They might not even believe that shit anymore, because they grew up and then they realized, what, my parents told me this stuff and I believed it because my mom and dad told me this. And and they could have been really honest parents. You could have came from really good, honest parents. Not all kids come from honest parents, believe me. Sometimes there's children that have mom and dad that are liars. Sometimes it's just a mom that's a liar. Sometimes, it's a mixture of maybe the dad's a liar and the mom's not. Or maybe they both lie, but one lies all the time and the other one lies a little bit. So, and that's why you got to question what your family says. What are they right or are they wrong? And this is where what happens in society. A lot of people get lazy and they just they don't want to study and they don't want to learn anything. So they just, like a sponge, they just absorb everything that they heard and believe that's all real. But because a lot of people get distracted out in the world, and that's exactly how the society and how this world, this 3D matrix, is set up. The stimulation is to, trip people up by getting them so distracted that they don't even have time to learn. Or that's their excuse that, hey, I don't have any time, but then they're out at the bar. I don't have any time, but they're out doing stuff that's not really helping them to evolve. So anyway, if you're wondering what that smoke is Starlight loves incense, so I do have a sage incense out here. So anyway, I do love you so much. If you don't like what I say on my YouTube channel and you question it, challenge me. You think it's easy for me to say that because you know what? You might teach me something. You might teach me that Starlight, what you're saying is not right. I need to be challenged because this is what God is going to do to me anyway. God is going to put me to the test. Just like God's putting you through the test. Anyway, I love you. You could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, you can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you can also check out my playlist. Plus, you can check me out on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. And you can also share my videos with your family and friend. There's a lot of squirrels out here, and there's other little animals out here. They don't look like a squirrel, and they don't look like a chipmunk, and they don't look like a prairie dog. I don't know what they are. I gotta find out what are those little animals. They are so darn cute. So you could share, I don't know, I gotta study these animals out here. So you could share my videos with a squirrel and one of those animals. I'm gonna see if I can find what they are. And anyway, I love you. Question everything. Get your kids like that. If you got kids, get them to ask questions. Don't shut your kids out when they start asking questions. That's when you want to open that door up of communications wide open. That's why kids are so exciting. They're so much fun. Starlight wants 10 kids. You know, I want more kids. But anyway, have your kids, you know, get them to ask questions. Teach them about asking questions. Why? You know, some parents get tired of when, you know, you got to go to bed. Why? You know, you got to eat your vegetables. Why? We got to go. Why? You know, answer your kids. You know, I was taught so backwards at this cult church. You know, they were teaching, like, if your kids ask why, more or less tell them, like, kids are to be seen and not to be heard. Blank that, really. Blank that, you know. Those kids need to ask why. There's nothing wrong with kids asking questions. That is how they learn. That is how we learn. Ask, ask, ask. You know, what more can I say? I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, Love, Light, and